you are sharing. So you're sharing your experience, you're sharing your knowledge and your beliefs to your community. And you have the online platform, you have your podcast, you have your retreats. And I see here, still I see a little bit of a fine line when it comes to the online world. And how do you think that you find this healthy balance
with it?
Because on one hand, you know, the digital world, in the modern world we are living in, it's overwhelming. It can make us sick, literally sick. And then at the same time you have tools. You have digital tools, like I have the mobile app that I'm trying to put in the hands of the people to use it and to actually transform their lives and have this journey. You have your online platform, the podcast. How do you find this balance? How do you see it?
Well, social media is not good and it's not bad. It is an avenue. It's a tool. So what I would say is that we want to use tools, just like we want to use our mind, but we don't want our mind to be directing what we're doing. So I use it as a tool. Everything that I put out, I try to feel into the moment of it. I don't have, at this time, it might change, I don't have anybody running my social media or posting or writing for me or anything like that.
So you do everything?
No, I have to.
Yeah.
It's funny because I got one of those scheduled programs now, because now I'm supposed to be posting.
Is that working?
I change it every time. And the funny thing is that one posted yesterday that I forgot was on the thing, and I wasn't even ready, and I laughed because it was a testimonial from someone who follows me. It was quite beautiful.
I read it this morning, very beautiful, yeah.
And it actually kind of worked out good because it doesn't really need anything, but I laughed because I was like, oh no, like later's out of control, like it's posting when I'm not even supposed to be. So I guess what I would say is I let my partners know after we had the map of what we were supposed to do. I said, this feels excessive to me. And so I feel for me, posting 3 times a week is what feels in alignment for my being. Not to say that I wouldn't post 4 times, like if something came up, but as a regular schedule, it starts to feel like it's taking off, and I'm no longer in the feeling of it. The other thing that's a problem with the scheduled platforms is that they don't take into account reality. Like if something happened that day, or there was a world event, and you know, it's really okay, I think, in the scheme of things, because I do want to broadcast. I am here to do my part and to broadcast.
Exactly.
However, I am a water tiger, at least in this exploration, and I also go dark. I go into the depths and the dark.
You took a break of how many months?
Like 11 months. Dark.
Wow.
So I wanted to cultivate really what I'm sharing, to make sure that it's beautiful, that it's useful. You know, that it's useful. I think that's a really key question that we could ask ourselves. Why are you posting?
Yeah.
What are you posting?
What's your intention?
Why are you posting it? And is it really worthy of posting? Or is it, I've got to post something, so I'm going to just post, you know, have a great day, or, you know, whatever it is. And you could say, well, those are all uplifting messages. However, what I would say is that content creates waste. It is a thing. It's not like it's nothing. And I have people that I know that, you know, they'll send me an email and then they're like, and I've sent you 8 gifts. And I'm like, I don't want your 8 gifts. I don't want any of them, because I'm curating a life on purpose, an intentional life. So that means I have the knife I want. I have all the objects feel in alignment. Like, where did they come from? What is, you know, so it's not that more is better. And that's the thing that I'm discerning right now, is at least when I do put something up, that it carries the heart and the weight of who I am. I am not a light person. I don't work lightly. My offerings are very deep. And if you spend a week with me, your life is probably not going to be the same.
I definitely want to do that.
You might. She's like, I want to come. And I don't mean that in, oh, I'm so weighty.
Yeah.
It's my divine design. Yeah. I came go into the void and to mutate and transform. And so I can be extremely sensitive. Sometimes energies are very intense for me, and I have to feel in the moment what is appropriate for me. And so now that I know myself a little bit better than I did a year ago, than I did 10 years ago, I'm setting up situations that honor my design. So when you called me, and I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about food or you wanted to interview my husband, I clarified that on the front.
Yeah, I love that about you. You were so direct and you knew exactly what you want.
Yeah.
That's very important. Yeah. But this is coming when you know yourself and you're in connection with
yourself.
Well,
and it's my devotional commitment to myself.
To yourself.
So, exactly. On the front end, this is what is celebratory, what is nourishing for my life form. And if you meet me in this way, then I can offer you something that is worthy. Yeah. And if it's not, then I need to not be there. So just pass on it. So
I'm happy I can be.
Yeah. So even just that awareness of many of us just go around life just because somebody said, it's like, oh, I'm invited here. Oh, I've been asked to do this. Well, is it in alignment with you? Are all the elements set up, the way to really benefit you, support you, nurture you?
Tell us more about the water tiger. What are the rituals? What are the activities that are happening behind the water tiger?
Okay, so what it is you sign up for 3 months, 6 months, or a year.
Okay.
And it's given me sort of a protected container from social media. Right? So in the beginning, I was doing my podcast, Divine Throughline, when it was called Divine Throughline.
And now it's called
For the Life of Me. For the Life of Me.
I just love it.
Right.
It's like, not for the love of God,
just
for the
life of me. And there's a saying in English where you get very frustrated and you're like, I can't figure it out, for the life of me. Like it's a saying, right? But I've twisted it to a devotional offering. What if I lived every breath for the life of me? For the life of me, So Water Tiger is a private container. So I do healing techniques, or we'll say like initiation visualizations that you put on your headphones.
So everything is online?
It's all online for writing, And so what you do is I do a monthly call, so it's a topic, and then I take questions. So just like we're doing here, so you could just ask questions. And then I offer a healing technique that you can do on your own, and you can have it for the life of your membership. So my products are not downloadable to be taken and distributed. They are streamable.
Yeah.
So, at the end of this year, there'll be a minimum of 12 techniques that will be uploaded that you use. But what I would say is, even if you just picked one, it would still be transformative. So, for instance, the first one was about embodiment that I just did. So it was about taking your awareness on a journey through your body as the presence of God consciousness. And you go through all the body parts, all the organs, the muscles, the tissues, the nerves, the bones, the plasma, the DNA, with your Christ consciousness, your divine lens. So it could be very expansive for all of us as a way to embody who we are. Because, like Eckhart Tolle shares, the master of presence, your presence is the gaze of the divine. So if I'm having physical ailments or emotional ailments, or I don't feel in my body, or let's say I'm not in my body, I'm to the side, this allows you to take your awareness through your body, and you end up activating your body with more and more light expansion.
Yeah, expansion.
And balance, but in your way, I guess. The next technique that I uploaded recently was about establishment. And so what I did was, I want to start at the end point. So instead of waiting through the year and presenting, concepts and healing techniques, and then at the end of the year we arrive at where we're going, I presented the destination first. So the destination is you are a multidimensional being having a simultaneous experience. So this visualization is an energetic visualization meditation that establishes you in that reality. And then from there, then we can start to take aspects of it out. So it's a matter of, in this container, I can be more free. Free to move, like free in that way. But what I would say is, this excess of free techniques that we are all putting out in the world, where is the value in that? And is anybody valuing all the free shit that you are giving everyone, whether they want it or they don't want it? It's kind of like junk mail. In this country, you can never stop it. They just keep bringing it. And even if you don't want it, they still bring it. So the idea is I think on social media, we're all living in bubbles. We're living in our own little bubble of what we think is true. And we found out with the Trump election that, this bubble is not the same for everybody. And in one way, that's great, because as a spiritual being, I'm creating my reality. You and I created this reality that we're sitting here together. However, I feel it may be beneficial for us to ask the question, should we be offering anything for free? I mean, do we live in a free, it's not really free anyway.
Yeah,
so the minute that you gave me something free, I immediately don't trust you.
Yeah. Or you feel you think that you have to give something back.
Or something's coming.
Something's coming.
An ask is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Something's coming.
Yeah,
and I just don't, I don't want to live in that vibration.
It's not truthful.
No, it's not. It's not transparent. It's not truthful. So the thing is I'm playing right now, and this is actually something I would love to talk about, so first of all, in my music. So I came, so we,
that part as well.
Yeah, we came out, I did this collaboration, and it was, Maria came in and visited here from Malta, and every Sunday we would go into the studio, and we would start spontaneously singing. And we would go about 20 minutes, and then we would literally stop, but we would be suspended in this divine gap, like a void space. And every time we just felt the power. We were like, that's amazing. It felt so great to us. So she left, and I got busy with some books, and then in November I took the tracks out, and I identified three passes that were, we didn't even mic it properly. Like, we were really just doing it spontaneously. Yeah. But, so I produced along with my nephew Harry. We laid all the tracks on top of each other, and we added some whale sounds that are very subliminal, and some rain, and it's really quite a gorgeous experience. So my teammates asked me, well, do you want to just stream it on SoundCloud? And I said, no, I don't want to stream it on SoundCloud. Like, this is like our devotional heart. Yeah, I'm not going to stream it. So I said, no, I want to offer it for for streaming on my site. Yeah. And they're like, well, how much do you want to charge? And I said, $33. And then I got people are saying, what do you mean, $33 for music? And I'm thinking to myself, why not? Yeah. Like, why do I have to give away this for free when people are going to use it over and over and over again? It's going to benefit their yoga classes, their healing. There isn't even music that exists that's like it. That's
and
exactly
why does it have to be compared to something else?
Exactly.
If that is charging that, you should be there as
well. Well, we have this attitude though that now music is just free. And so I know with my first 2 albums, I spent 7 years on 2 albums. I was literally in financial collapse. I used every single penny that I could get. Probably in the end, I probably spent 10 grand on over those 7 years on those 2 albums, and they stream, and they're on Spotify and iTunes and whatever, and every month I get a check for like $60, But then I look at how many listens, and I'm like, oh, that's actually like kind of a few listens, right? So I guess my point is that that music was made in such love and integrity and beauty, and I'm interested in creating ways where we pay for what we get, and there is an even exchange. So this brings me to my Gozo Mastery Retreat. Yeah. So I do free content. I have over 100 free episodes online on the podcast, and I still do a free podcast every month in the new format. Then I have books. I have free streaming music on Spotify and iTunes, 2 albums that you can have there. Then I have a music project you have to pay for to stream. Then I have a membership community that's at 3 different levels. Then I have personal sessions, which are at getting more expensive, you know, higher rate, because it's just my energetic, then I can't be there for everyone. And then I created Mastery. Mastery costs $6,700 to spend 3 days with me. And the reason that I created it is that I had this experience of being a catalyst of transformation for a dear friend of mine. Many years ago, I was doing interior design in his house, and he commissioned me to paint 2 original paintings for him, and he bought 2 photographs of mine. At the time I was photographing these trees, and they were 4 by 10 feet pieces of art, like big. And I went into meditation every day for 4 months, and I painted as a channel between his soul and him. And I had no idea what I was painting. He paid me a lot of money. He paid me like, I think $15,000 for the first one and $10,000 for the second one. I painted. Literally, I could see the Akashic records coming on my hands, coming in my inner vision. And when I hung them on his wall, I was literally on my knees. Like, I knew that neither one of us realized what we had done. He went through a complete transformation, which was very intense. And he has been reborn into being a leader in education. He was basically spending his life in his basement playing video games because he was independently wealthy. And he had to face his ego, and it was quite scary and quite hard for him. Luckily, he's still my friend.
Oh, that's nice.
But what I learned from this is that there is a potential with art and with exchange in a shamanic way, where you could ask, well, what is the purpose of art? Yeah. Well, the purpose of art is to make an impression on somebody, or awaken something in them, or remind them of something. And I would say that I had sort of the ultimate experience with a person because I entered into it in a ceremonial fashion, and I was a catalyst for his soul to speak to him. So working with art in that way, this is something that I offer on my shamanic 3.5-day retreats, because first of all, I have the past life lineage and the land there, which makes the frequency very potent. But the person that comes on that trip is ready to face themselves completely. The money exchange is part of the agreement. It's almost like it is part of the statement of the energetic conditions that catalyze the alchemy. Now, it doesn't mean that if you don't want to have that experience, or you don't have that kind of money, then you're not worthy. No, not at all. It's just a flavor of experience in all of the experiences that we have on planet Earth. And what I would like to offer is there's another reason that I'm doing that retreat at that level. I know of a person who's in business who does 3-day business mastery meetings. And people pay that much money, $6,700, to come and spend 3 days in a business format. And this person is a very beautiful person and very, very valuable, and the people feel like they get a lot out of it. And I know firsthand that what I offer is every bit as valuable as that experience. In our spiritual awareness, we are always carrying in our minds that spirituality should be free, that people that are spiritual should have no material strength,
Yeah.
right?
Or desires.
And as a consequence, we have a world that is run by people who have money, who maybe don't have the best interest of humanity at heart. And so what I am doing through this entering into life in this sort of amalgam, you were talking about spirituality and fashion and modernism. I'm a modern shaman.
Yeah, you are.
You know, so it's like I'm saying we're living a human life and it has both aspects, both masculine and feminine, seen and unseen. And both are valued, both are necessary. And just because I am offering a 3-day spiritual activation, I can play with that energy however I like. It could be whatever price I want it to be. It's an exchange. And I know that that will be viewed by some as elitist. And all I can say is that I am tired of my beautiful brothers and sisters who have so many sacred gifts being suppressed by not having money. And so I am rewriting.
You're a pioneer for this community now.
Yeah, I'm rewriting what that is and starting to suggest that, you know, we have every right to play with that energy. And I know that in the hands of these vibrations that we'll be able to do great things.